In today's world, technology has come a long way. Gone are the days when Polaroid cameras dominate our space in terms of what we can record and take pictures of. Today, there's a lot more technology out there, like drones. Drones even have cameras built into them. So in this video, we're going to show you Drone Cam Capture What No One Would Believe Part 4. The video is going to be amazing, so make sure you stick to the end. Turkey sinkhole. Natural phenomena are either two things. They're either amazing to look at or they're terrifying to look at. Because when it comes to natural phenomena, there are just things that occur on the earth that you can't explain completely. The sheer scope is usually frightening. The bigger the phenomenon, the more you realize how small we all really are. We're nothing but ants of a giant rock, and natural phenomena seem to remind us about that every chance that it gets. Well, now we move on to the Turkey sinkhole. And a lump of missing coal is not the one that you see in the city. No, this one's far larger and way more terrifying. We're not happy that it's in Turkey, but we're happy that it's not near us. Take a look for yourself. This massive sinkhole, which looks like a giant asteroid created, it appeared in a farmer's field in central Turkey. And the reason for it is said to be climate change and drought. Shade balls and a lake. Sometimes you come across things in nature that just makes you do a double take, whether it be something like Stonehenge or the pyramids. There are just instances where those things may have not been created by nature, but they sure do blend in well after so much time. It's hard to imagine the world without Stonehenge. But then there are also minor things in the world that also make you do that double take. Just imagine walking by a lake and seeing some shade balls. We know you might not be familiar with what those are. And we weren't either at first, but that's why we're here to explain to you why this one's making the rounds on the internet. Let's just say, not all lakes are created the same. Not all lakes have the same story either. So these aren't the typical balls that you would get out of a vending machine at a grocery store. These are special balls that are designed to actually help the environment. The shade balls, which are plastic balls that can save water and protect water quality, were used to help California's severe drought. Art on the ground. If you were impressed by that drone in space, then you're going to be impressed by this next one for a whole different reason. That has to do with art. Art is something that can be seen all around us. This is why someone like Banksy is so popular. It's not only because he creates these awesome images and secrets. No, it's actually because he creates awesome images in general. No matter how much technology we have in the world, from laptops and smartphones to smart cars, people will always appreciate art. And that's why we're going to bring you now some art that was captured on the ground by your drone. This one will really make you think and reflect, because that's what art does at the end of the day. This next story comes from a French artist who created some amazing work on the ground in his small town. And it's all made with biodegradable paint, so it's not like it's ruining the environment. Elephants napping in a weird way. Now, sometimes drones don't just capture natural phenomenon or amazing things in space. Sometimes they're perfect for just capturing things that are in the wild that we wouldn't see any other way. Because we're humans that stay in our cities and neighborhoods. We don't necessarily venture out into a wilderness where we could see something like an elephant. That's what drones are for, and lucky for us. This one drone captured some elephants napping in one of the weirdest ways. Just take a look for yourself, because this one is pretty darn wholesome. Remember, an elephant never forgets. And this one definitely did not forget to nap. As you can see from this image, it was a herd of wandering Asian elephants that created almost a portrait-like image. They're all sleeping together in this mound of dirt in the middle of the forest. It's an incredibly peaceful sight that shows us that we're not too different from our animal counterparts. Everyone needs a nap now, and then even a few elephants. Weird lines in the desert. If there's one thing that we love here at the channel, it's weird things that have no explanation out in the world. We're talking about man-made structures that have no origin, natural phenomena, or just let everything in between. If you follow us on this channel, you know exactly what we're talking about. You saw the photos and images that we've shown before, and half the time, they just don't have an explanation. No matter how many scientists are on the case. While that happens to be the case with the weird lines in the desert, we know that you'll probably not travel out to the desert to see these yourself. That's why we bring them to you, so you can speculate on what you think they're all about. Centurite. When it comes to drones, they're a piece of equipment that's unlike anything else, because they can get the shots that we really can't from down below. Whether they're being used in football stadiums for a nice overhead view, or they're being used in military exercises. Drones play a big part in our everyday lives now, and you don't have to be rich to use them. Nor do you have to be in the military. Sometimes you can use it to catch an exciting city view. That's where Century Bay comes into play. This is a unique Italian town that's kind of shaped like a human. It's one of those places that you just have to see with your own eyes to believe. Trust us. It's one of the weirdest places you'll ever find on Google Maps. It's a place you'll find in Italy. From above, it looks like a man lying down. But that's just the way that Centre the Pay is laid out. Before we move on, support us by hitting subscribe and the bell icon to get notified when we post new videos. Now let's get back to our topic. It looks like something straight out of a Star Wars movie. It's enough to rattle your nerves and question everything that you know in this world. Because what we're looking at in this image is what was captured by a drone. That was shortly shot down right after capturing the image. That's right, this drone was not supposed to capture that. But if a drone didn't capture this, no one would believe it. What we see in this image is some sort of team, whether it be military or scientific, connecting a stairwell to some sort of craft that doesn't look like it's from this world. And if it is from this world, then it's definitely military-oriented. World's biggest cemetery. No matter what day you look at throughout the year, there's one thing in common, and it's that there's a record being broken somehow. People are breaking records every day. And for the most part, a lot of those records have to do with being the world's biggest at something. These are some of the most popular world records because people just want to see the world's biggest. Whether it be the world's biggest cake or the world's biggest doorknob, there always seems to be someone breaking that world's biggest record. Today, we may not be breaking the world's biggest anything. Maybe we'll break the record for the world's biggest views in one day on YouTube. But we actually want to bring you the world's biggest cemetery. Because as depressing as that may sound, you need to see it. It's known as the Valley of Peace, but also it's one of the world's largest cemeteries in the holy city of Najaf. The image here is breathtaking and morbid. If you squint, it kind of looks like 1,000 shoeboxes just lined up next to one another. Loneliest tree. Nature is something special. It's because there are just instances where we can personify almost anything, whether it be a plant or something like the moon. We see things so often that we sometimes give them a personality. We form an emotional connection to it. That's kind of what makes us human. After all, we can see things in a totally different way than animals would. This enables us to relate to the world on an emotional level. It's kind of like when you see an old person eating by themselves at the mall. For whatever reason, it brings a tear to one's eyes. Maybe it's because we look at them as lonely, and we drum up this story in our head. Well, the truth of the matter is we can even do this with a tree. That's why we're about to tell you about the loneliest tree. By the end of this one, you might want to plant a tree right next to it so that it has a friend. The Florida Goblet. People love to learn about things for all different reasons. That's what makes our lists so entertaining. Because no matter what type of person you are in terms of your education, we always bring something different to the table. What we've learned throughout the year is that people really enjoy seeing parts of this world in ways that they haven't before. Or they enjoy seeing something they've always seen, but in a different way. Take, for example, a plantation. These places often bring up similar images in everyone's mind. You see a lot of grass and greenery, you may even see a few plants in your head. The last thing you would expect to see is the shape of a goblet. Well, that's exactly what we're going to bring you. It's one of those images that once again you can only see from above. And yes, it looks just like a goblet. It's located in the rural area of Uruguay, about 12 kilometers from the city of Florida. It's definitely one of those unusual landmarks that you won't find anywhere else. So that's it. Please like, share, and comment your thoughts below if you like this video. Remember to subscribe to see our next video. Stay safe, and we will be back soon with another video.